Hi friends, it's Em and welcome back to another video. If my voice sounds a little weird, it's because I'm coming down with something. So, well. But we are going to be talking about all of the books that I want to read in October while setting up my October bullet journal. Now, I will say that my TBR this month is absolutely overly ambitious. Now, that being said, I am going to be traveling a lot in October, which means lots of time on planes. When I'm on planes, all I do is read. Like, read. Sometimes even an audiobook if I'm feeling that. So, just keep that in mind. It is not necessarily normal to have a TBR this big for a single month. I'm also trying to get through my physical TBR this month. So the good news with that is that a lot of these books have already been released. So we could buddy read them together. But let's dive into it. And I will sort of note which ones are out and which ones are not. So first, I'm going to start off with an ARC, which is an advanced reader copy. Isn't It Obvious by Rachel Runya Katz. I don't know. And I really enjoyed her last book, whose title escapes me. But I just want, some romances this month. I have a lot on this list that is definitely like fantasy and thriller heavy, but I wanted to toss in a few romances as well. Then I have The Summer War, another ARC. This one's by Naomi Novik. And this, I believe, is just a novella. I'm not sure if it's set in the same world as Spinning Silver. I haven't read Spinning Silver, so I hope there's no spoilers. But I really like her writing style. I really enjoyed the Scholomance trilogy, so I'm in for The Summer War. Oh my god. And then one of my most anticipated titles of the year is Cold Wire by Chloe Gong. This comes out in, I believe, November. I think it's sci-fi. I really, honestly, again, it's me. I read this synopsis once, go, yeah, that sounds good, and then I immediately forget it. So past me thought that this was going to be really good. I'm also really interested I assume that later next year, her final book in her Julius Caesar retelling series is going to come out, but we'll see. And then next time will be Our Turn. This is by Jessie Q. Satanto. I believe that this is a romance. In my head, it's sapphic, but I don't know if that's true, so don't quote me on that. And I know I said that there weren't very many romances, and then I started with 4 or whatever. It's fine. Another romance, Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. I am so excited to read this book and then go to a Chili's. That's the vibe that we're putting off. Really couldn't tell you anything about this, except I think that the main character in this, is older than her and is the general manager of a Chili's. If that doesn't sell it for you, I don't know what will. Then we have Once for My Enemy. Oh, it might be One for My Enemy, actually. Oops. By Olivia Blake, who, she's hit or miss for me. Sometimes she hits, sometimes she misses. This is one of her Backlist titles. I believe this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. Also, I think there might be vampires. Take that with a grain of salt. And then another fantasy book, The Narrow Road Between Desires, which is a Patrick Rothfuss novella set in his Doors of Stone, King Killer Chronicles series. I've been putting this one off just because I really want to read Doors of Stone, but that doesn't exist yet. This one should be really nice. It's told from the main character Bast's perspective, who I love Bast. I love Bast so much. And then we also have Manslaughter Park by Tirza Price. So these are sort of murderous Austen retellings. And I've never read Mansfield Park, and I don't think I've ever read a retelling of it either. So this should be really, really interesting. Then Gillian McAllister, Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Don't know anything about it. It's a thriller. She usually has sort of some fun textbook style thrillers, and I'm into it. I'm into it. We also have This Dark Descent, which is a YA fantasy. I can't remember if this is the one that has horse racing in it. One of them on my shelf does. I just don't know if it's this one. But I've heard really, really good things about it, so we're going to go with that. Then we have We Are Watching, and this one might be We Are Watching You. I have not made this many mistakes in titles in my TBR for a very long time. But Alison Galen, she wrote The Collective, which I thought, while the plot was just absolutely bananas, it was original. And so I'm really optimistic that this is going to be some kind of zany cuckoo bananas plot that really just sort of keeps me guessing. Also, we have The Time Has Come by Will Leitch, I don't know. I read his debut book and really enjoyed it. I couldn't tell you anything about it now, but I enjoyed it when I read it. And this has been sitting on my shelf for basically 2 years, I think. And we're finally going to read it. We're going to read it. Then I have some backlist titles from my NetGalley shelf. So The Reformatory, this is supposed to be horror, but also like historical and a little bit ghosty. I'm hoping I can convince my mom to read it with me. We'll see. But I've heard really, really good things about it. It was Aardvark's Book of the Year last year, which is why I have it. Then also The Floating World by Axio. I said I was going to start this. I made it like 1 minute into the audiobook and then immediately said, no, I think I want to read this with my eyes. And then 4 months passed. So that is sort of where we're at on that. If I'm being realistic, I think this is probably the one that I'm not going to get to. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I will. Who knows? And then we have A Closed and Common Orbit. So this is by Becky Chambers. I read during the pandemic the first book in this series, which is A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. And I loved it. Found family, cozy sci-fi. And then I just never picked up anything else in the series. So I figured, I was telling myself, I want to buy that first one. Well, maybe I should listen to the rest of the series, make sure it sticks the landing before I go buying the rest of the series. That's where we're at. Also, we have The Dead of Summer by Ryan DeSala. And I could not tell you what this is about. I think it's a horror. I think it's about summer, possibly summer camp. But I have enjoyed a lot of his books. I really liked The Honeys, and I'm pretty sure that I will enjoy this one. So I will potentially report back on what I thought and how it went. We'll see. And then finally on my list is Heart Marks the Spot, which is by Libby Hubsher, which I wish so desperately was called X Marks the Spot, spelled EX. I don't know why they didn't go with that. Truly, Berkeley, come on. And I think this is about, I think there's an archaeologist involved, and I think they were exes, or at least like a one-night stand situation, maybe a treasure hunt. I don't know. Clearly, I need to actually look into these things first. Now, I will also add that I'm not expecting to get through a lot of my NetGalley titles this month. I have reduced it. I only have 32 titles right now, and when I started 2 months ago, I had 60. And when I say started, I mean started actively trying to read a bunch of them to get it down. But, sometimes I just pick up and I go, man, I really want to read this book that comes out in 7 months. And then I do, and it's great. And then I have no one to talk about it with for 7 months. I also have an extra blank page at the end of this, which you'll see sort of, towards the end. It's literally just a blank page with a single sticker on it. I'm not sure if I want to do this for an October recap, or maybe sometimes I'll find a challenge midway through the month and I'll want to join back on that. We'll see how that goes. My book spending for September has been really great in terms of I'm on like a bookish no spend, and I have not spent any money on books. I'm very proud of myself. But there's still time. There's like 10 days left in the month. So I'm just trying to be good, put things on my wish list rather than immediately going to Good Girl and ordering them or buying them but we'll see. So I hope that you enjoyed this sort of chatty TBR, what the heck is Ember reading this month style. We did do the waterfall tabs again. I like it. I like the Dutch door vibes. It's great. So let me know what you are reading this month in the comments. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, happy planning.